What is up, you guys? This is Jacob with 2Guys1 Coupe, and today I'll be trying to convince you all to buy a brand new 230i over an E46 M3. Now, you guys might think this is rage bait, but honestly, on paper, very similar vehicles in terms of specs, horsepower, 0 to 60s. Very similar vehicles when you kind of break it down. So the brand new 230i has a curb weight of about 3,500 pounds. An E46 M3 coupe has a curb weight of about 3,300 pounds. So very similar in terms of overall weight. 0 to 60 on the E46 is about 5 seconds flat. Car and Driver tested the new 230i at 0 to 60 at about 5.1 seconds. Quarter mile times are very similar as well. The 230i is a little bit slower at 13.7 to reach the quarter mile at 101 miles per hour, while the E46 is about 13.1 seconds flat, so it is a little bit quicker to the quarter mile. The E46 is equipped with BMW's beautiful 3.2 inline six. You cannot beat that. This 230i is equipped with BMW's B48 2-liter inline 4 turbo. So definitely in terms of sound, you are getting a way better deal with the E46. Now, the 4-cylinder is still a very fun package, as aforementioned with the specs. Still very great platform, easy to maintain, great fuel economy. This is getting about 34 miles a gallon on the highway, so very efficient motor with the power. Both about 50-50 weight distribution, like I mentioned. The E46 does produce more horsepower, so that one does produce about 333 horsepower, 262 foot-pounds of torque. This 230i is 255 horsepower, so less horsepower, but it does produce more torque at 295 foot-pounds of torque. So very comparable in terms of spec. Also, when you look at pricing, E46s have gone up in value in recent times. An example with 50,000 miles is still going for about $46,000. When you could actually get a brand new 230i M Sport decent package for about the same amount of money. Now, what is the benefit to that? Well, obviously when you're buying a 20-year-old M car, there are going to be some things that might come up in terms of maintenance. All the rubber might be a little bit deteriorated over time, so you might have to replace some of the internal componentry there. Whereas when you're buying a brand new 230i with the M Sport package, you are getting a 4-year, 50,000 mile warranty. So you don't have to worry about anything for the next 4 years or 50,000 miles, whichever one comes first. And BMW does provide a 3-year, 36,000 mile maintenance package that comes with new vehicles. So very comparable in terms of that. I still have a blast with this vehicle. Still, like I said, still fun to drive, especially with the distribution. Even the dimensions are very similar. So the E46 is 177 inches long, where the 230i is 179 inches long, so it's slightly longer. It's also, the 230i is slightly wider at 72 inches, whereas the E46 M3 is about 69 inches wide. And in terms of height, they're within 1 inch of each other. The E46 is 54 inches, and the 230i is about 55 inches high. So like I said, on paper, very similar vehicles, including pricing, including spec. Now, one thing I will mention is the E46 will probably hold its value a lot better than the 230i just because it's an actual M vehicle. And when you look at the proportions and just the overall look of it, I do still prefer the E46. It's one of BMW's most beautiful looking vehicles, but that's not to knock the 230. I still think it's a great looking car. And in terms of overall retention of value, the 230s typically hold their value better than most BMWs just because they are starting at a lower price point and they don't produce many of these vehicles to begin with. For every one of these, they probably produce 23 Series sedans. So definitely lower production numbers, which helps retain that value. And you can still have fun with this car. I've driven it in the snow with the traction off. You can get some donuts going, and it's still a very, very fun vehicle to drive. And it barely cost me anything. Like I said, I still have plenty of warranty left in this vehicle. I did extend it out to 100,000 miles, so I have nothing to worry about for the next 60,000 miles coming. So just routine maintenance, gas and go, versus, like I said before, when you're buying an E46, you do have to worry about some of the componentry, zero warranty there. But obviously, if you know how to work on vehicles, that might not be the biggest issue. But definitely just wanted to point some of those things out. Like I said, if you're in the market for a 230, I think it's a fantastic idea. Great car for the money. You know, it's hard to find fun vehicles sub 50,000. Mine was actually only 35,000 out the door because this vehicle has absolutely zero options whatsoever. I got a slight discount on it, and I think for 35,000, I'd much rather have one of these versus a, you know, Civic Si, for example. But when you're comparing apples to apples with the E46, you know, don't knock the 230 until you try it. Very comparable vehicles. And if you're in the market for an E46, definitely look at one of these, try it out. It's plenty for the normal civilian roads. I think it's a great package overall. Definitely appreciate it. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below. But I highly recommend one of these vehicles, especially if you have a budget around $40,000.